And we are back with another episode of the Hockey Princess podcast. I am your host, the Hockey Princess. We have crusty old guy once again. Guys, just as a reminder, make sure to hit that like and subscribe on either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, however you watch or listen to us ramble on a weekly basis. A couple of things. If you are going to a game this season, really any game, please wait for the whistle. Do not get up while the puck's in play. The food will be there, the beer will be there, the bathroom will be there. We'll all still be there, and please do not try to find your seat during gameplay. Just wait for the whistle. And if you're going to a Blackhawk game in particular this season, and you're looking for a good food recommendation for before or after, because they are open after, depending on the game. I doubt they're open after an 8:30 start, but usually they're open before or after. Highly recommend Su Taqueria El Rey del Taco over on Ogden. The food's great. Everybody who works there is great, and it's only a couple of blocks away from the United Center. Krusty, let's get into it. We have hockey to talk about. We have some good things. We have some bad things, and some just things. The world.
I don't think we got any bad things. Do we?
I mean, we did have some losses, mainly wins, but we did have some losses.
Okay. Go on. Sorry to
Number one.
speed bump you out there.
NHL world, still pretty early, as Krusty likes to say. We haven't hit the 15 game mark, so we really can't speculate heavy with the crusty old guy. So we got a couple of more weeks until we can do some speculation and some gross overreaction within the NHL. However, we do have two massive contract extensions. One was yesterday, and then I believe one was finalized today. Both are 8-year, 10 and some change mil. You have Thomas Harley with the Dallas Stars, and you have a Logan Cooley extension with the Utah Mammoth. Both big contracts for both the player and the team. Christy, what are your thoughts on these contracts?
Everybody's making a lot of money.
Yeah, which as they should, because honestly, you compare hockey players to other athletes, and they're not making shit compared to others.
Right, but they're starting to.
Good.
And
make your money.
As far as the two contracts, good for everybody. Harley's a extremely good up-and-coming defenseman.
Absolutely.
On a team with another solid defenseman. Automatically, this is now sent off Jason Robertson bells and whistles to everyone, stating, oh my God, how are they going to re-sign him? Obviously, he's on the market.
I will give up some things.
Yes, I would be willing to give up some things too, but we will see. And as far as Logan Cooley, there's a good chance Logan Cooley becomes a superstar. Okay? He is dialed in. The big talk now is, okay, what does this mean for our guy? And I'm ready to do it right now. 8 years, $11 million. We're done. Sign it tomorrow. I understand with people's reservations about, he hasn't proved himself completely, but
who cares?
You're going to have to pay him either way, and he's carried your franchise for 2 years. But let's not go into that end of it. As far as Logan Cooley, there was a lot of discussion there. I don't know where that leaves our guy, Mr. Schmaltz, who then they still have to. And I'm hearing miles apart.
I think he could just come home.
Well, I think for the most part, I think Schmaltz is going to go wherever he gets paid.
As he should.
He's going to, if Utah wants him, they're going to have to be at least in the ballpark, because that is a up and coming team. And I get that. But besides that, he's 30. This is his last one. So, like with anything with these contracts, it starts to gauge everybody else. So, but this is the theme. you know.
I feel like the Cooley one made made more sense. Not that, paying Thomas Harley a lot of money doesn't make sense, because it does. I think Thomas Harley, like you said, is a great defenseman, but it seems like Logan Cooley is kind of one of the guys for Utah. So it's very much like, yeah, obviously you should pay him a ton of money. And maybe I just have looked more at Dallas's cap situation, because you've got a lot of money in different places. I think compared to Utah, I think Utah has a little bit more wiggle room. So I think the Harley one just threw me off. Not that Thomas Harley doesn't deserve that money, but that Dallas has the ability to do that. I mean, because that is a big contract for a while. It's not like a hot, 10 mil for like a couple of years. This is, obviously this is longer. This is 8.
Yeah, I think everybody's getting nervous. They don't know where the cap's going, how this is going to look like in another year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think everybody wants to get this done if they can.
Yeah.
So again, if the cap continues to go up like everybody's figuring, most people's cap problems will take care of themselves.
Exactly. But either way, the Chicago Blackhawks don't have a problem.
No, we're nickel and diming everybody we can.
Yep.
That's our game plan. We're very concerned about the cap.
Right. And not to get into too much speculation, because Krusty and I had a heated debate about this the way back from the Ottawa game. But the NHL did put out another projected roster for some guys that are going to potentially eat some good pasta come February. And for Team USA, Krusty, would you like to know who is added to said team?
I'd love to.
That would be your Showtime. Yes. Showtime, it's not official, but Showtime's now been added to the list of eating some good pasta. I firmly believe that Showtime will be eating some good pasta come February. And so I just needed to inform the masses that he's weaseling his way back in. There were definitely some names off of the list that a lot of people were concerned about. A Cole Caulfield not on the list. Some people had some questions and reservations on. Granted, Olympics and other international competitions, you kind of go with the veterans more than the younger kids, but there's definitely some veterans that, at least in the beginning of this season, really don't seem to be producing much, if at all. And they were on the list and Cole Caulfield was left off. So I understand with Caulfield fans being a little frustrated by that, but Showtime's on the list.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got Caulfield, you've got Nazer, well, just NASCAR. It'll be interesting to see how they fill the 13th forward position. That's more of a specialty position. He's not going to see much ice time, and
he doesn't need to. You don't have to put Patty Kane on the ice for a ton of time.
Right, but then you worry about injuries, this or that. So he's fine. There's going to be some decisions to be made,
and that Billy Guerin should put Patrick Kane on the team, please. Yeah, that was kind of the big one that I saw.
We're going to see a million of them. So,
right, but this came from NHL.com, so this wasn't just,
nothing.
I know, but this wasn't just like a fan made one. And anytime I get to see Showtime on really any list this day and age, I'm a happy camper.
Yes.
All right, Krusty, do you have anything in the world of the NHL? Any thoughts? Any feelings?
I don't believe so. I really didn't prepare very much for anything.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've got some injuries, but I can't remember who they are.
Yeah, it's fine.
Who got injured?
Some people.
Yeah, some people. We'll just leave it at that.
Fair enough. Jumping to
Sorry.
our prospect report for the week. You've got 1 goal for Anton Frendel. You have 1 goal and 2 assists for Merrick Vanaker. 1 goal and 1 assist for Jack Pridham. 4 assists for the Nathan Bame from the Kamloops Blazers. 2 goals and 1 assist for the John Mustard. 1 assist for Julius Sumpf, both out of Providence College. You have 1 assist from Sasha this weekend, and I hear rumblings that Sasha's not 100% at the moment. There was 1 other game this weekend that I believe he got left off the roster with, not feeling 100%. I don't know what all is there, but long story short, I don't think Sasha's at 100% right now. So not seeing him a ton on the scorecard, I'm not going to freak out. And Krusty's not going to freak out either. You've got 1 goal and 1 assist for Vuklavna Strassel. You have 21 points in 20 games for Roman Kanserov out of the KHL. And then my favorite guy to talk about, because everybody's hopping on this train now, is the Adam Guyon train. University of Minnesota Duluth being quite a hot topic in the hockey world and the college hockey world, mainly because they absolutely smoked the Gophers this weekend. And granted, I know that has a lot to do with the Plante brothers that are on University of Minnesota Duluth, but you have Adam Guyon at the helm in the crease. You had 2 wins this weekend. Friday was a shutout against University of Minnesota. You only let 1 goal in this entire weekend. You're sitting at a .938 save percentage for the start of the season. Guys, this kid just keeps getting better and better. I'm very excited to see, going further into the season when they start playing within their conference to kind of see how they match up, because you do have some fairly dominant teams in the NCHC, Western Michigan being one of them. Very excited to see one of those games in a couple of months, but it should be very interesting. But I think if he continues on this path, Krusty, and I'm doing an overreaction or whatever, but I think it's his net to lose for Team Slovakia come February. I think this kid is eating good pasta no matter what, but I think it's his net to lose at this point.
Let's hope so. As we've discussed, that's nothing but quality work to go play for your team for a little bit in the Olympics, no matter who your team is. So again, it's right now what seems to be a strong case for the Blackhawks of having goaltender depth, which is crazy, but everything's pointing in the right direction from every goaltender. So all good.
All good. Krusty, I know you don't have anything, but I'm going to ask if you have anything.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, because that way, at least at some point in time, who knows, I might do a little research. Well, yeah, I might. Doubtful. Why would I research anything when I have the Hockey Princess to do the work for me?
Guys, I'm pretty sure Krusty only does research during the month of June prior to the draft.
You would be correct. It's just I can't.
I'm the research person.
Yes, you're the research. I just can't get spun up in something that's going to be here in 3 years. I just, it's that simple.
Chrissy, we talked about this a little bit, but before we jump off of prospects, I want to circle back to, I know we had this discussion, but I want to have this discussion with our listeners, because a lot of people are getting very, very excited, as they should be, with Anton Frendel. But, Frendel is kind of everywhere on the roster, starting off with the Drew Garden. Can you kind of just recap what you what we talked about in terms of his development, winger versus center, like just being over there.
Yeah, basically, I mean, he's in a very good league.
Yeah.
So understand that. It's also a league where they want to win. They are not concerned about developing Anton Fondell. As much as Marcus Kruger has his hands all over it, he's not interested either.
No, but it
So
is cool to watch Marcus Kruger again.
Understand that point of it. They are at times going to protect him. Always good protection to move yourself to the wing. It's a long season. He is 19 years old. So they will move him up and down the lineup, and I'm sure they will concern themselves with his minutes. And it's a physical game over there. So you're not getting the same kind of thing you would in Rockford, working him certain ways.
Mm-hmm.
They're not, it makes no difference to them if he plays center or wing. And at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world if he spends half the time on the wing. Okay, he's going to be, I don't say this very often, but he is going to be a centerman for the Chicago Blackhawks. I am positive of that. He is a big body. He understands play in front of the net. He plays at 200. He checks all the boxes. He's going to have to fill out. He's going to have to get stronger. He's just going to have to get older along with everybody else. But don't be worried about exactly where he plays. Occasionally he's dropping to the fourth line. They're going to mix things up also. Like on any team, you've seen it with the Blackhawks over the years, any other team, you have a tendency to try to appease your veteran people.
Yeah.
Because you don't want that lock. And so there'll be somewhat of that too, to where, he's going to lose minutes just because of that. And it's all fun. They teach a good system in a excellent 200-foot game. So he's in good hands. Don't read too much into it. The Hawks will guide him once he gets over here, which everything that I'm hearing will be whenever his season finishes. So, yeah, but he came out of the gates scoring a lot of goals. Like anything else, there's a feeling out process for their league before they get into the meat and bones of it all. So that's just my take on it. It's nothing to worry about. Is he playing center? Is he playing wing? Don't even worry about it.
Yep. All right. Hopping over to our friends in Rockford. We have 3 games this week. Started off not hot at all in Colorado. We had 2 back-to-backs, Friday night and then Saturday night. Friday night, just gonna say it plain and simple, the boys lost, and the boys lost bad. But then Saturday, Drew Commesso stood on his head and played out of his mind. So, Colorado is definitely one of those that we don't play often. They're within our conference, but not within our division. So you only play them periodically. But, I mean, Drew played on his head. The first line looks absolutely stellar, which is your Senny and then winged by Lardis and Rebel Oliver Moore. And as I told this to Krusty yesterday, it is all the hype that top line is getting, it is deserved. My only thing is it seems like, sorry, we have a very small cat that wants attention.
I'll give it attention.
Anyway, they're doing all of the things right. Nick Lardis, Oliver Moore, they're both assisting machines. goal scoring machines, but it seems like Nightingale is very much placing that line in select moments, and they're shining in situations where they're going to shine, where Nick Lardis has already been shining in juniors, where Oliver Moore was already shining in Minnesota. But I would like to see them, and this more and Lardis and less Senny, because Senny is, an AHL veteran, but I'd like to see both of them just a little bit stronger on their skates in terms of physicality. I know that's going to come with time. This is their first year making the jump from college/juniors to the AHL. But it seems like, they're hitting all the highlights, but they're also out there in situations that they should be succeeding in. But the successes look so gosh darn good. Nick Lardis is an assisting machine, an absolute assisting machine. The way that he sees everything, just has the ability to set up more or set up Senny. So all they have to do is just put the puck in the net. It's very exciting to watch. So that's kind of the biggest takeaway, is the top line. Yep.
Now, when you're saying his vision and he's a setup machine, do you think, you've watched a lot more Rockford than me, which most people have? Do you consider that more of his reputation as a goal scoring machine coming over to the AHL, where they're very aware of where he's at on the ice and when he has the puck? Do you see teams occasionally overcommitting to him?
Maybe, because it seems like, from what I've seen, it seems very much like he's the one setting it up, and nobody notices that Oliver Moore is standing right in front of the net and it's completely empty. So all of the attention is kind of drawn on Lardis, and then whichever two, because it's been more, but Senny's definitely up there in terms of there's no focus on the other guy who's standing just right in front of the net, right next to the goaltender, completely unguarded. But it's very exciting to see.
Okay. That was my main question. It's a good thing. You have to learn what to do with the puck when people overcommit to you, when people shift their focus to you.
And that's why I'd like to see him just be a little bit stronger on his skates. So when people overcommit, he just has a little bit of stronger control. Because if he has the ability to have people overcommit to him, hold on to the puck, and get it to potentially Connor or NASCAR, I think that's huge.
Okay.
So, but yeah, Kamesa looked great. Rockford did put Berezhnoy is out, so Weeks got called up from the Indy Fuel. Nothing super concerning. I think Berezhnoy is only out for maybe like a couple of weeks. It's not anything long term. Other bigger news with Ludwinski out last week. You've got the Marcel called up from, or not called up, I think he was just benched, but Marcel was playing. So you had Marcel versus Ivan of the Colorado Eagles, which was very entertaining. Those were kind of the bigger takeaways. Aiden Thompson, he doesn't look great in terms of, he should be the next guy to get called up to Chicago, but I think he's definitely become more of a physical presence, which bodes very well in Rockford's favor, because you have so many just small speedsters, and our division is definitely filled with bigger guys, Milwaukee being a team that is like that, Chicago being a team that's like that. So I think he's definitely done well the past couple of weeks in terms of just not really taking any shit. Defensively, I do want to credit Krusty and what he said last week about Artie not getting sent down because Kevin's going to look good. And Kevin has looked good this week. I did not watch Friday's game, but Saturday's game, he looked good. And then the matinee against the Chicago Wolves, he looked very good. And he was also not taking any crap. Wasn't as feisty as when we watched Bedard do it up at the NHL level, but he got waylaid by Turcotte from the Chicago Wolves. After the hit, was still able to get up, kind of not completely throw punches, but definitely get into the scrum of it. Had a bit of sass. I think he's definitely looked a bit better. But yeah, 2 wins out of the weekend.
Okay. Well, again, they look good, and they look like they're under the same crusty creed.
Yeah.
That we start to make evaluations after game 15.
Absolutely. Chris, do you got anything else for Rockford?
I don't have anything for Rockford. I would have to watch, and I guess I had an opportunity to go to a game when they played Chicago this last go round, but sorry, I went golfing.
That's fair. All right, we're going to jump to the big club. But before we do, I'm going to get on my high horse. Connor Bedard, Colton Dock, Jason Dickinson, Ryan Green, Tyler Bertuzzi, Brett Saney. Let's see. Louis Crevier. These are all Canadian players that are on our team. So can we knock it off with the USA chants when we play against Canada teams? Your superstar is Canadian, and a decent amount of your good players are also Canadian. And then the rest of them are just not American. There's a very small list of players on this team that are American. So please, friends, let's cut it with the USA chant. The Four Nations was a couple of months ago. You have time to do that USA chant during the Olympics, but not during an NHL game. That was all. I'm off my high horse. That just made me real mad from yesterday.
Well, yeah, it's
pathetic.
It's something to me that drives me nuts. I believe after thinking about it a little bit, we are stuck with it. It's just part of it. I don't know if that goes on the baseball side with Toronto and the Dodgers in the World Series. Maybe it does. I don't know, but for me, it just seems a little silly when two Canadians fight each other. We then chant USA. I get very confused. I understand that Chicago is in the United States and Ottawa is in Canada, but that's really about it in this league.
But also, your top player for the Blackhawks is Canadian. And the top player, even though he's out, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but your top Ottawa Senator is American. Guys,
yeah. So I guess for me, it's just I don't need the noise for it. So, but again, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be stuck with it. So, okay, you've said your piece. I've said my piece. I don't like to get very political or anything. I've got plenty of national pride. It has nothing to do with that, though. You don't look like you know a lot about the game.
Yeah.
So let's leave
plain
it. I have to wrangle a Rutu.
That's fine.
I'll be back.
So we've got 3 games for this week. Played Tampa Bay Lightning, Los Angeles Kings, and then last night we played the Ottawa Senators. Game against Tampa definitely came out exciting. Scored first. It was very feisty. I was not expecting the level of feistiness. But that's also a thread into the Ottawa Senators game that we'll talk about a little bit later. I don't know if it's just other teams that are not doing so hot getting annoyed that they're losing to us that's causing this extra, anger, extra feisty of the game. But the Tampa one was definitely, it got a little heated.
Well, sure. There's a couple points to that. Number one, we're a team that you can push around.
Not anymore. Connor Bedard's not taking any shit.
But that's the notice. We can be pushed around. So with that, when teams are worried, this or that, they bring up the physical play. They'll all get the message that we can't be pushed around. Or occasionally we'll get pushed around, but it's not going to be tolerated. We have a group mentality now. Everybody knows their roles. Tampa's a mean, nasty team that is not starting very well. That's what you do.
Yeah.
That's what Andrew Shaw did. That's, when things aren't going well and everything else, the one thing you can do is bring up the physical play and try to get underneath everybody's skin.
Yep.
That's a good lesson for us to learn. We have not learned that one yet. Hopefully, that comes with more winning, and we start to go, hey, not only will we be standing up for ourselves, we've decided we will start to impose our will. And once that comes about, now we get real fun times. So, the Tampa game was another great game.
Yeah.
I understand that it's a struggling team. I will say when we get back from this road trip, we can start to analyze everything and really dive into it. We'll be in the meat of the season then. But, hey, I'll take a win over Tampa any day. I hope that little kid who mocked me at the end of the game 3 years ago.
That was not a little kid. That was a grown man that mocked us at the end of the game.
Well, it was a grown man, and the little kid did his whole little point thing. So I hope he was there for that one.
Yeah. That also leads to, that is the first time that Andrei Vasilevsky has lost in the regular season to the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yes, which is crazy, but again, who was in net for us?
The stud.
Yeah, we're just gonna be in games with him in net.
Stud, the absolute stud. But there's a difference, because it's like, yes, Spencer Knight is a stud, but you only win so many games with your goaltender being the only one that's doing anything. I mean, you see that with New York. Like, Shesterkin can stand on his head, but at a point, somebody has got to put the puck in the net. So it's the guys in front of him are also, doing incredible things as well.
Oh, most definitely. And I mean, you had 2 goals by Donato.
Our true captain.
So they're catching teams off guard. Their penalty kill is very aggressive. They're a very aggressive team.
Mm-hmm.
And people aren't used to that. Again, teams will make adjustment. They'll have film. In a little bit, they'll be game planning for us.
Gosh, I miss these days.
Yes, and that's all part of the process. So, but hey, anytime you can win in Tampa is huge.
Absolutely. Then we have our second game. I did not watch this game. Krusty, you watched this game.
I did?
You were at that game.
I was?
Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah, super fun. Super fun. I guess I can go on my high horse a tiny bit.
Go for it. Yay.
I would like to explain to everybody that being on the second game of a back-to-back is not an advantage for the team that's playing the second game. All of a sudden, that has become a thing where, it's better to be playing 2 games. It is not. Blackhawks took advantage of an LA team trying to find their legs and got out to a good start. Only a 1-goal lead, and that was not enough to
No.
hold up. This game was an incredible learning game. We are a young team. After this game, it was the first game that I actually saw our players, for the most part, everybody was taking the easy way out. It was, instead of going through, it was going around. Instead of making contact, it's poking with our stick. LA is a very difficult team to play against. You have to be patient. They don't give you much. And if you force it, they pounce on the mistakes. So that's what that game ended up being. LA took over. We've gone over on this show, and I'm sure everybody on everybody's podcast who has anything to do with the Blackhawks has gone over their second period woes. Again, they're a young team that doesn't quite understand the importance of getting people off the ice in a timely fashion.
I think, though, my biggest concern is that not only do we see it in Chicago, but we see it in Rockford too, because Rockford definitely has second period woes as well. So at what point, because now it's a trickle down effect. Now you're coaching Nick Lardis and Oliver Moore that you can take 20 minutes off.
I don't think it's that they're taking 20 minutes off. I think you're not understanding the little aspects of the game, the importance of getting the puck deep and making an early change. The understanding when you're already out there for 40 seconds, now is not the time to be aggressive and try to make the move. The play is to get the puck deep and get your defenseman off. It's just that simple. I'm sure they're discussing it. It's learning woes. It'll get worked out, and it'll get worked out with more talent. You're really allowed to, mess with people a little bit more in the second period. So it's a little concerning. It's nothing that I think is going to be a long-term problem. I'm enamored right now with this coaching staff. So I think they'll address it at some point in time. There's other things to address. So, and again, I think the big learning aspect of this is relax. Okay. You're in the game. Don't go nuts about having to do this and having to do that and then getting yourself out of position.
Right.
But teams are going to make you fight, and especially being a younger team, they're going to play with you because you don't understand the idiosyncrasies that go on with trying to play smart hockey.
Yeah.
So, Bloom, I thought looked fine. It was a learning game, and that's all I checked it up to.
Mm-hmm.
And you move on. So. Let's see. I'll look up the stats and see if anything else jars my memory. Because, my memory isn't the greatest.
No.
But it's just you got outplayed a little bit, and there was a shorthanded goal that was a backbreaker also. You just got outplayed. After they came out and found their legs in the second period, they methodically just took it to us, and we weren't interested in doing what we needed to do to take it back to them. And that's, I've said it 4 times, that's the learning aspect.
Well, then for the final game of the week, we had a very good game last night. It's a very great game. There were definitely issues with the game, but there were just a lot of great things going on. First and foremost, we had a hat trick. We had Bedard's first hat trick. And with that hat trick, I think the world sees even more of how great Ryan Green is.
Yeah.
Because, man, those face-off wins are just such a beauty. And the kid looks like he should just be on the first line for a while.
Yeah.
Just keep him there. Just keep him there.
I don't know if he needs to be on the first line for a while, but he serves a purpose. He's very solid. Face-offs are very overrated. But in Bedard's goal, when you have the ability to win the face-off that cleanly, it's a huge advantage. That's Jonathan Toews stuff. That's what Ryan Green gives you. And there's no need. The Blackhawks, even in their dynasty years, which we like to compare and everything, everybody wasn't loaded up. You didn't have three elite players. Everybody has a role.
Yes.
Everybody has a job to do. So Ryan Green is very good at the dot. He gives, Bedard the opportunity to just take draws against weaker players, or if they decide you're going to move Bedard into the slot of taking the draw first, Connor Bedard's for you cheat. And if I cheat, Ryan Green comes in. So, but on that line, you are better off, especially in the offensive zone, having Ryan Green take the draw, especially if he can draw it back to Connor Bedard.
Yeah, just that face off for the third goal was absolutely disgusting. And I do agree, like, I don't like to go completely to the face off percentage all the time, but like you said, when you have somebody good, it just makes the plays and that line just so much better. It isn't the end all be all, but it's definitely an elevating factor within the line. And I think really anytime that you can slide Connor Bedard over to the wing and have a younger guy that can also kind of relatively keep up with Connor is good.
Yeah. There was questions why he was there, and you heard me from my seat screaming, that's why he's there.
Yeah.
That's it. It's that simple. And he's defensively responsible, and he understands the game. So I'm sure he's not going to spend a ton of time up there, but he has the ability to slide up there for a little while, and he's got value in the things he does.
Yeah.
So.
But that was really fun to watch. Gosh, so much happened.
Yeah, so much happened. Big Lou, or as we like to call him, Creature,
the Creech,
had a really good game.
He was feeling it.
Yeah, that first goal, he was screaming and beaver tailing for that puck. And again, put it right on. The only thing the goaltender can do is kick it back out, right over to somebody. So, he played a really good game. As much as people might have a problem with this, 11-7 seems to be working.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, especially with now, and we didn't even bring it up initially because I got too carried away with the whole Canadian bit. But with Lucas Reichel no longer being there, I mean, the 11-7 flows even more fluid because you're now just facing like maybe one guy out if they're all healthy, which this doesn't last long.
Yeah, and I mean it was a showcase for Connor Bedard. That goal, top corner with no room, is something he can do that not many people can. It's just that simple. Everybody's voiced their frustrations a tiny bit here or there with him. It's nothing to worry about. There's talk about this whole Celebrini kind of, but hopefully this goes on for 15 years. And we sit there and compare the two all the time because they're both going to be really good.
Yeah.
Donato with another goal. Again, another bloody awful second period.
Yeah.
But, the difference in past years is the team didn't bend. A complete altogether togetherness. Tyler Bertuzzi taking after the guy who attempted to rough him up. Renzel getting in there also. We have a team mentality, which is beautiful. I will give kudos to the coaching staff. As we're talking about Ryan Green, the biggest thing we've been talking about is put people in positions to succeed. And that is what this coaching staff is doing. Everybody has their role. Colton Dock has been told, this is what you have to do.
And he's doing it.
You're a big body. You are our physical presence. Your job is also to get into the skin of everybody. Those are things you have to do. Now, we'd like you to put the puck in the net too, which he's done. That's fine, but he's got everybody knows their role. And with the 11-7, we're able to kind of better do zone starts. Nobody has to feel the weight of everything. So kudos to the coaching staff. They've done a great job with it. You're putting Artie in positions to succeed by giving him more offensive zone starts and, depending on the game situation, giving him more ice time. That's just, it looks really good right now. Again, when we get back from the road trip, we can really start to figure everything out and see exactly where we're at.
Yeah.
But as far as the team concept and how the team is bonding,
it's working.
It's been fantastic.
Yeah.
It's working. That stupid saying, we're all pulling on the same rope the same way.
I'm not about to be quoting Nick Foligno.
But it is completely true. They've made the decision that they're all going to be in it. They're going to be in the fight. As I said, right now it's just about standing up for themselves. Hopefully later, by the end of the season, NHL is about imposing your will, man.
Yeah.
If you don't believe it, go watch Florida play. It's what they do, and it's what the Blackhawks always did. You impose your will. The objective, it's sooner or later, once you start to get good, is to embarrass. You want to put a seed of doubt by midway through the second period of, oh my God, I don't want to do this the rest of the game. Anybody else that shined from you?
Ryan Donato.
Yeah, I thought, Donato, I think he's also accepted the role of he's going to be all over the place. Just play your game, and we're going to plug you everywhere.
Because his game works.
Yes.
His game has always worked.
Another kudos to the coaching staff. The move was made to take Tavo off power play 1 and put in the Barracuda, because I'm going to be going with the Barracuda. That's just
absolutely. Shout out to our Washington Capitals insider for telling us past nicknames of Andre Burakovsky.
But he sees the ice well. He's a mover. What I mean by that is, even on the power play, he's all over he's skating the puck. There's
all over the place.
There's no stagnant, and also he is very good at zone entry. So I think he's got a permanent place there, and that worked real well. They were on it for 16 seconds, and he found Connor Bedard, and Connor Bedard does what Connor Bedard does.
Exactly.
Excuse me. So, on the Ottawa game was great. A shout out to the guys that sat down with us and did the preview. They said we can't keep it out of the net, and they weren't lying.
Yeah.
And that's a frustrated team a little bit, and they showed their frustrations again. It's about, like we say, taking away the will. They were on the back-to-back. So once that score all of a sudden went 5-3, you could see
yep,
that's the objective. You let them in a little bit, but after it was 5-3, it was like, all
Yep.
right, let's just go take some cheap shots and go hit some people. But, so a great team win. I had told you during the game that, in my head, it's the first time I've thought of in a long, long time that I've got a goaltender that all of a sudden I'm up 3-0, and I'm thinking it's our game.
And
Got
then
a little frightening.
you said that. Well, you didn't even say that. You said that after the third.
Well, I know better. I am a very superstitious hockey fan. Extremely. I have a complete routine I go through. There's certain things I don't do on game day. It's a laundry list of stupidity. No doubt about it. But
We
yes,
should do like a behind the scenes video of crusty old guys game day routine.
Oh yeah, it's a mess. But basically, yeah, I know better than to jinx it and come out and say that, because anytime you mention something like that, then I guess the thought just did it, because there was a fluke goal and then a couple rough ones again. I'm not going to harp on the guy that I've been harping on, because I'm just not in the mood to do it today.
Yeah, no, we can do that later.
Everything's going well. This is a huge road trip.
Yeah.
We're going to just step up in class. We're going to go play Winnipeg, and we're going to go play Edmonton. It's a step up in class. The objective.
Guys, we're going to go play Winnipeg. Krusty and I are going to go to Winnipeg, and it's going to be great.
Yes, I'm pretty excited. Hopefully, there's no problems and we're able to get up there tomorrow. Krusty's a tiny bit fear-based occasionally, so he doesn't really get involved until he's actually there.
Yeah.
Figuring, he just figures things will always be taken away from him. Sorry, we won't get into the whole. Let's not go down that road, but that should be an incredible environment. Watching hockey in Canada is always a special thing. In Winnipeg, I would assume it's going to be even more special.
Yeah.
And to see the captain there with a smile on his face playing.
Oh, captain, my captain. It'll be very good to see.
And,
it'll be good to see him happy playing, because
yes.
I think it's been even longer since we've seen him, in his group.
Yeah, he's he's done some interviews and stated, it was a lot on his plate. He could say he wish he would have processed things better as far as not taking everything to heart. But that's a fine line. You talk to brilliant people. I don't care if they're doctors, lawyers, plumbers. Everybody does that, though. It's kind of what part of their driving. I guess it's the objective is to find that middle thing. But there was no middle with Johnny originally, so that's why he's trying to smell the roses, as he says, a little bit more. And what he had to go through to get back is. If anybody wants a real crazy read the GQ article of everything he did to cleanse his whole system. Is pretty insane.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you're right. This is a big road trip. It'll be very interesting. But gosh darn it, we get to go watch hockey in Canada, so I'm excited.
Yes. And again, road trips are always a big thing for team bonding.
Yeah.
So it's a good way for this group, especially the way they're feeling right now. Hockey's a weird game, man. You keep on going off of this mojo. Next thing you know is you don't expect to lose. And then the next step of that is you always expect to win. So I'm enjoying it. It's been a
very long time.
It's been a hot minute since I've been able to.
Yeah. All right, Chris, you got anything else for this week?
I don't believe so.
All right. Well, folks, just as a reminder, make sure to hit that like and subscribe on either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, however you watch or listen to us ramble on a weekly basis. If you are going to a game this season, when we get back from this big road trip, please wait for the whistle. Do not get up all the pucks in play. And make sure to head over to Su Taqueria El Rey del Taco over on Ogden before the game. The food is fantastic. That is all, folks.